Blue Lagoon, Iceland. This started as a byproduct of warming homes. They were dumping the water here. People started to use this as like a hot tub, mineral bath thing, and then the government took it over and then charged a lot of money. This is a recreation of a mantle plume, which is under Iceland. So these things can be 100 to 700 kilometers deep and hundreds of kilometers wide. This cool magma here, Iceland, June 25th, 2022. Look at this stuff, it's amazing. Hot, super hot. Look at this little vent geyser on this volcano here in southern Iceland. They have these kind of like telescopes somewhat you can watch through, so it feels closer than you are. Scarface Waterfall. Foss is waterfall in Icelandic. Hofferfell waterfall. Now we're on behind the waterfall. Here on the south side of Iceland. There's Craig. The Hofferfell waterfall. Right, the Gaussen waterfall. So that's the Scarface Waterfall here, just east of the town of Vik, Iceland. It is quite windy. Look how green and lush. Here he comes. It's fucking Maverick. Fly into the danger zone. Fly. Look at that. What waterfall is that? See Pete? Look at that big boy. Woo. Quite windy here in Iceland. Mist, look how green. I mean, just beautiful. Scarface Waterfall with a nice rainbow background. Rainbow here, Scarface Waterfall in Iceland. Oh yeah, look at that hole in there. Goes all the way into the glacier. You can see all the bubbles in the ice.
Yeah, in Alaska, the fishermen, if they see a piece of glacier ice in
the Dragon's Cave here in Iceland. See how it's caved off? That's the sunlight hits it, reflects over to this side. This side, and causes these like notches in it. Oh, there goes the root. Here's the glacier. So this is, in one day it's picked up so much water we had to make a makeshift bridge, move it. So in the 60s this glacier went all the way to those moss covered mountains here in southeastern Iceland, the land of fire and ice. Whoa, they weren't kidding about that water.
Did it take?
This is Reykjanes, Iceland, black sand beach near the town of Vik, and that is the Atlantic Ocean. Das Boot. This is where they had the battles of the U-boats and the transports in World War II. And this is the Gaussen Canyon, and I way mispronounced that because these Icelandic words are extraordinarily difficult to pronounce. But this is gorgeous here, just east of Vik, June 26, 2022. This is the Fargo Canyon, and there's a river here on the right, and then that waterfall on the left, and then that's where they meet. And then it kind of runs to the south. So here in the Hofferfell, look at these sheep. I mean, and that's super steep. You won't appreciate it on the video. Here in Iceland, land of fire and ice. This is the Fargo Canyon, and I know I mispronounced it. Look at this little arch here. As opposed to a bridge, a natural bridge is caused by water underneath of it. So this is the Scarface Waterfall, and what's unique about this, not its size, but is the basalt columns around it. Here we are in the Hofferfell National Park. There's Craig. Look at this big vista, lowlands area looking south here. And there's the big glaciers, one of the glaciers to our right, which is west. And then we have this big glacier to the east. Look at that. So there's not much wildlife in this country that we've seen so far. Sheep, horses, just saw a squirrel and this bird. We've seen some other birds, but obviously a lot of seabirds off on the coast. So this is the Gaussen Glacier. And this is a little lagoon. These are little calves that it's produced. Well, look at this, just beautiful. Even up here off on the side, here in Eastern Iceland. This is the Carlson Glacier, Jack Carlson, and you can see the striations, and it's probably ash or dirt. The glaciers are pretty dirty in general over the years. So looks like some seals or sea lions. When we get down there, we'll figure out what kind. Here on June 26th, fire in Iceland. These little seals here. Hey, little guy. See him? Look at him. Hey. In a Jack Carlson Glacier and Lagoon. There's a seal here in Iceland. There, little guy. Looks like how Craig gets around these days. So here in the Glacier Lagoon, you get some seals, a lot of birds, glacier in the background, and then this current. So there's a little seal. In the Glacier Lagoon, this is kind of a cool little bird there. And the glacier, the Jack Carlson Glacier in the back. So this little mini iceberg is about to hit these others, and we're going to see what happens. See if it hits it hard enough to. Doesn't look like it's going. So it's high tide coming in, and that's what's causing this current.
Look down they go. That scared them off.
Look at these birds. They're everywhere. So this is what happens when you. Here in the town of Hofferfell. There's some ducks. You see all these glaciers. There's a glacier. There's a glacier. And there's a glacier. That's looking southwest from which we came. There's Craig and the town in the background. That's the famous Westernhaus mountain, which is apparently real popular in movies, films, advertisement, wedding photos here in Iceland. So we're here in Eastern Iceland, and look, reindeer. Aha. Cool. It's the morning of June 27th in Cinder, northeast Iceland. This is where we spent last night. And there's CP, there's a little hotel, and overcast. Very common in these parts of the world. This is Dettifoss, the most powerful waterfall in all of Europe, here in Fire in Iceland. June 27, 2022. This is Dettifoss. On its way from glaciers to the Arctic Circle north. There's the bottom of Dettifoss. Look at that big boulder getting pounded down there. It's like Craig on a Saturday night. This river goes to the Arctic Ocean. You see this volcano in the background on its way to Dettifoss, the most powerful volcano in Europe, which is just to the north. This is Selfoss, just a little bit south of Dettifoss. Look at that big bubble coming out there on our way to the Arctic Ocean. This is just north of Dettifoss and Selfoss. Carl the Troll lives here in this part of this national park. This river, translated to Glacier River, heads to the Arctic Circle. Look at this cool. Look at the striations in that wall there. So even in Iceland, they have statues to Dr. Smallrod. There you go. That's where Carl the Troll lives, right near my namesake symbol, Dr. Smallrod. The Botsengorn Lake in Aspergeri Park here, north side of Iceland. In June 27, 2022. Here's the Arctic Ocean. Never been to the Arctic Ocean before, and first time for everything. Look at these puffins. Here, right on the Arctic Ocean, northern Iceland. Puffins here in the Arctic Ocean, northern Iceland, are showing off. So there's a bunch of birds here, some puffins here. North Iceland, Arctic Ocean. This is a geothermal area. Look at this, here, outside of Bhutan. Fire in Iceland. The Geyser mud geothermal area. Look at that. Bloop, bloop. We're here at this Geyser Basin in the Fire in Iceland. This is the fire part, obviously. And unlike the States, they let you get real close to this shit. That is hot. Very hot. Woo!
Spa day.
Spa day.
Gonna get a facial.
Woo.
Stick your head in there.
That wouldn't hurt anything. So this cave area here in Fire in Iceland is where Jon Snow and the lady beyond the wall got it on, and he broke his oath to the Watchman. This is the Hofferfell Glacier. Once again, I mix up a glacier and a volcano.
Yes.
Fucking idiot I am. This is the Hofferfell Cinder Cone here at Lake Møvet, with a silent N at the end, here in Fire in Iceland. That's looking west, which is where we will go. And you can see this geothermal area where we hiked yesterday in the rain and wind. This is the dim-driven lava fields here, just east of Mutan Lake in Iceland. This is Lake Møvet, June 28, 2022, Iceland. There he is. Fly into the danger zone. Danger zone. This is Dettifoss, waterfall of the gods, because about 1,000 years ago, the man who chose to make Iceland Christian threw all of his pagan god idols in this waterfall. Here at the Akari Botanical Gardens, here is the rock garden section. Who knew? Look at this rock garden. I'm gonna have to show Chuck how they do it here in Akari, Iceland. Iceland's second largest city. We're driving through a one-lane tunnel, and you can see on the side that's where you pull over. And this is a super long tunnel, several miles long, one lane. And there's no signals telling you when a car is coming the other way. You just kind of feel it out. Here we are in that place, Sigurdorf, in the northern part of Iceland, here on Tuesday, June 28th. And this fella just caught 700 kilos of cod, that's what he said. We're surrounded in these fjords, these ice-capped mountains. Reminds one of Alaska. So this guy bought a bunch of cod. There he is. So they bring them up with these cranes. They use them. They unload them, and then they put them back in the boat, empty. This is Reykjavík. Here, just south of Hofferfell in Iceland. This is Reykjavík. There's Craig. He's going in. He's going in. Look at him go. Jump in. So climbing up the ropes here on this face. Man, I don't know how Twyla does it. She bounces right up there like a billy goat. Look at this power of water. Scarface Waterfall and Canyon here in Fire in Iceland. Here on the Scarface Peninsula, western Iceland. Look at that. There's a troll right there. Look at that. We spotted one. Here at Sky Kishmir, they say there are two things you can't count in the world. Number of stars in the sky and the number of inlets in this fjord. Looking north towards western fjords, Iceland. This is the Scarface Peninsula, largest town, Stakisfjörður, here in Fire in Iceland, June 29, 2022. Bill Baldur, heading north to the west fjords, Iceland. The Kirkjafell mountain here in Iceland, June 29th. So this is the Scarface Waterfall. That's the Kirkjafell mountain. They say it's the most photographed mountain in the country, and Craig is begging to climb it. Here's the view, about a third of the way up Kirkjafell, and steep parts coming up. About halfway up, Kirkjafell on Jokel. Whew, halfway up here on Jokelfell. Look at that view. I mean, is this what Iceland's all about or what? So here's the rope Twyla told me about to climb Mount Jokelfell. I bet you she bounced right up there like a billy goat. But she recommended it, and even though I'm not in her class, I'm gonna do my best here in Fire in Iceland. Mount Jokelfell. Look at that, up with the birds. How do I get above that? 2 minutes to get up to the top, just under 1,400 foot elevation gain, 1.5 miles here, Jokelfell Peak. It's because I'm from Madison, Ohio. Give me a TIG. I'm backed up from a Buckeye Nation booster. Holla, got to get out, get a shout out to the War Pigs down in Fort Benning, Georgia. Here's my seat, Mount Kirkjafell in western Iceland. Looking north, you can actually see the western fjord area in the distance. These birds move quite fast. You can hear them when they fly by, just the speed they have. And this is one of the easier parts of the road. I would probably not use it fully. You never know if it's going to break. This is right out of Kirkjafell, outside of Kirkjafell Mountain. And look how the water comes off this upper section here, and then it looks like right there it's coming out of the rock like through a slit. So here's some Icelandic horses. Look at that. You got a white dong. I wonder if his dong is smaller than a black horse's dong. Skardavskik Beach here in western Iceland, almost at the very western tip. Scarface Beach here in western Iceland. And this sand is pretty cool. It's like a mulatto sand. It's got a brown and black mixture. Here at the western part of the snuffled this peninsula, and there's a glacier up there. And it's so high, it makes its own little weather pattern. Kind of looking south there. Here's the ocean. We're just south of the Arctic Circle. A lot of seabirds here, but no puffins. This is Lonranger. This is remnants of an old volcano, or what's left. The sea has claimed the remainder here in western Iceland. Look at this guy. He's been doing this like the 6th time in a row. It's like he's doing a half pipe. Yeah. Here he comes back.
Oh,
and we have touch. Look at this. Got little babies. Babies. This one over here. It's got 3 of them there. Looks like that one has 2. So this little area is a little nesting area here in the Stapi to Helfner walk. This is on the Arnastapi to Helnar hiking route in western Iceland. Some cool arches. There's a little guy. A cool little gorge. This is Ytri Tunga Seal Beach. Here, western part of Iceland. And there's these are harbor seals. They look very similar to a gray seal, but they have a shorter snout. That's I think, the easiest way to tell the difference. Here on top of the basalt cliffs in western Iceland, there's Craig and the Blue Yaris. June 30th, 2022. And once again, very few trees. Here in Reykjavik, Iceland. This is the pond. City Hall is just this way, closer to the water. Kind of heading northwest. The faceless bureaucrat statue, otherwise known as Joe Biden in the United States. 1st of July here in Reykjavik 2022 at what they call the pond. The name is Classic. Here in the main church, there's the organist. Looking southeast, museum up on the top. Some mountains in the background. There's looking northwest, there's downtown Reykjavik where Parliament is, the old harbor, City Hall, see the pond off to the left, and the ocean to the right. This is looking basically north out of Reykjavik. This is Gilma, the wrestlers, and that guy looks like a queer, and that guy looks retarded. Looks like the queer is taking advantage of the retard and fucking him. This is 69 action between the cow and this giant dude. Who knew? Penis Museum, there's a narwhal, killer whale, and the biggest penis in here, though not the biggest penis in the world, this big old sperm whale. 2 little penises here belong to, not surprising, a wolverine, average 2.9 inches. Shock. This is fin whale right there, and then this is the Greenland Shark. Fermented. Okay. This is Greenland fermented shark. here in Iceland. Well, it's not good, but it's not terrible.
No, it's not terrible.
Now, whale. Better than the shark. This is the fin whale. It's seared. Tastes kind of like beef. Here at Thingvellir, this is where North America, here on our left, meets Europe, here on the right. And this is one of several fissures between the continents. So we're actually standing in North America right now. And there's the lake we're going to go snorkeling in to actually see it up close and personal. Here at Thingvellir, where the continents are separating. Oh, these little geese and the geeslings enjoying this cloudy day. The Hofferfell Waterfall at the Thingvellir, here at the continental plate separation.
That was it.
Yeah. That was quick, super quick and done, just like Craig last night. This is Geyser, which means gusser in English, but it's also where we get the word geyser from. This is the original. It doesn't erupt much anymore because of some earthquakes and changes in the plates several years back. Short and sweet, like Craig. Hofferfell, here in the Golden Circle, Iceland. Hofferfell Waterfall, here on July 2nd, 2022, Iceland. This is Hofferfell. Down there. Hofferfell there. See how the water cuts to the left when it hits. Here at Hofferfell, see that beautiful rainbow. The current crater near Sulfus, old volcano about 6,500 years ago.